Washington Pod presents EARL Nightingale.
Someone once asked a young man, he happened to be in sales, why he was so happy and cheerful all the time, why he worked so hard. And he said, if you were doing what I'm doing on the road toward what I'm becoming, you'd be cheerful and happy all the time too. You see, here was a young man who was doing what he had decided to do after careful investigation, and was on the way toward very interesting and wonderfully satisfying goals that he had carefully selected for himself. This young man was already as successful as it's possible for a human being to become. That's because the definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. Success is our journey, not our destination. Our destination is great too, and we'll enjoy it thoroughly when we get there. But being a successful person is simply knowing where you're going and thoroughly enjoying the trip with all of its bumps and ups and downs. In fact, to remain successful once we've reached our goal, we've got to set a new, better one and start out on the new journey. Successful people are people who are in progress toward things they want to achieve, toward goals they want to reach. If you know what your goal is, you know what you will be, because, let me say it again, we become what we think about. When we have a definite goal toward which to work, that's what we become. If the goal is good and worthy of us as human beings, we become good and worthy human beings. We become people of accomplishment, and we enjoy the good life in the bargain. I have a good friend who's a famous motion picture actor. Now, he serves us by participating in the production of interesting films, which we pay to see. Our money pays him, and his great talent rewards us. It's a great trade-off. But he didn't know he wanted to become an actor until one day his mother suggested the idea. The minute she mentioned it, he knew that was what he wanted to do with the rest of his life, but he had never thought of it. And that's the way it happens sometimes. The idea comes from a relative or friend, or from looking at a magazine or a television program, from reading. But you should know what you most enjoy doing. Just for fun, let's say it's fishing. Let's say you love to fish and would rather do that than anything else in the world. Well, there's a world of opportunity in the manufacture and sale of fishing equipment, boats, motors, sportswear. Perhaps there's something within that idea that you would enjoy spending your life pursuing. So what do? First, you get a good education. Then you apply for work at the companies who serve the industry in which you're interested. You tell them of your love of fishing and how you want to spend your life working in the business that serves the needs of the country's fishermen. Now you're in the very business you most enjoy. Or you can work in the fishing tackle department of a large store or chain of stores. There are many thousands of job opportunities within that industry, and it's the same with all of the other industries. And in your spare time, you can enjoy your hobby or avocation. You can test new equipment. There's no limit as to how far you can move up in the industry of your choice. That's up to you. If you took all the young people in the United States who are working in gas stations, how many of them do you suppose realize they have one foot in the door of one of the world's greatest industries, the petroleum industry, and that they can move up in that industry, a very interesting industry too, as far as their education and determination will take them? The president of one of the world's largest petroleum companies started out working in a gas station. How many young people working in fast food stores realize the opportunities within the food industry? It's all there in any business you happen to like. In fact, you can't think of a job that doesn't have lurking somewhere within it all the opportunity a person could possibly want. And never let anyone tell you that there's more opportunity in one particular field than in another. It's not true. Let's say you're a car nut. You love cars, love to fool around with them. The automobile industry is one of the world's largest, and within any industry, there are thousands of different jobs to fit people with different likes and dislikes. But the more education you bring to your career, the farther you can move up in it. I talked to a young man just the other day who's employed selling new cars. We had a long talk. He's a college graduate and plans to have his own car agency someday. He's spending his working career in the work he most enjoys, but he prepared himself for any job within that industry before he began selling cars to learn the business from the ground up. He was just married 3 months ago. He's taking the proper steps in order. First, education. Second, the choice of a career. Third, marriage. And he and his young wife are on their way. First education, then career or proper occupation, and then the other important things we want can fall into place. Marriage, kids, all the rest, if that's the way we choose to go. Millions of young people get it backwards. They drop out of high school, scramble around and find a job, any job at the bottom of the occupational ladder, and earn hardly enough money to move out on their own. Then they fall in love, get married, the kids come along, and they find themselves behind the 8 ball. Not enough money to live on, no prospects for better employment because of their very limited education. If they just stayed in school until they had zeroed in on a well-paying career and prepared themselves for it, everything would be all right. There's plenty of time to get married after the more sizable paychecks start coming in.